You're this the Prince of the Nightlife, DJ Melly Mel. Now tuned into the biggest Shenelle Simone, April B, Flu Head, Grew Head podcast. Are you dumb? NYC, the ATL. Yeah,
Yo,
Brooklyn,
what's
what up?
Good, everyone?
Shit,
you already know it is the Flu Here, Grew Here podcast where worlds collide no matter where you what?
Reside.
Yes, it is your favorite Brooklyn babe, Shenelle Simone.
And of course, it's your favorite media maven, your girl, April B.
You already know. So listen, we are here to give you a check-in with your two favorite Brooklyn baddies, Shenelle Simone and, of course, April B. And pretty much letting you know what's been going on with the Flu Here, Grew Here podcast. Now, you know, we release an episode every Wednesday at 8 p.m. And a lot of you all been supporting us. And we want to say thank you to the ones who have been rocking with us since the launch party. Y'all, we have so much to really discuss. What's been going on since we recorded our first episode to now. So, you see, we got a new location.
Yes. Shout out to For You Recording Studio.
Right, and shout out to Culture Lab as well.
Yes,
definitely got to big up Chubbs.
Yes.
We'll be back, baby. We'll be back. It's just been so much happening within our personal lives as well. So stay tuned with this episode because we about to dig deep into the lives of your favorite Brooklyn baddies.
No, Shenelle, like, before we start, let's pour a little bit of our Bombay vodka. Listen, y'all, if y'all have not already, go to www.bombayvodka.com or visit any one of your liquor spirit stores to get this. This is the best vodka. Y'all, the lemony taste makes it a lot smoother.
The citrus.
A lot smoother than what most vodkas give you. So make sure y'all check them out. Shout out to Bombay Vodka. We rep it hard. And thank you for sponsoring this episode.
Of course. Shout out to Mr. Harlem. Shout out to Tremaine.
Yes.
Yo, let me tell you something. What we get all the time. Oh, I don't drink vodka. Not if anybody know me, I'm a tequila mommy. But baby, this is probably
Yo, how about before the episode, I was like, girl, like, you forgot me, and she really forgot me.
Yeah, shout out to Bombay.
Shout out to Bombay, y'all, for real facts. So here,
for real. Yeah, you put it back up. Yeah, so honestly, when we say dig deep into our lives, so as you know, we are media personalities and radio hosts from Atlanta by way of Brooklyn, New York.
Yep,
so
shout out to Brooklyn.
Clearly, as you could tell by the podcast name, Flew Here, Grew Here. What's really been going on in a sense of y'all we've became businesswomen.
Yep.
We became entrepreneurs.
Yep.
We became managers.
Yep.
We became CEOs, founders.
Yep.
Honestly, you know, one thing I would say about creating this podcast, what people keep saying, not another podcast.
Yeah.
Ban podcast in 2023. All types of stuff. And I said, what? No.
So, Shenelle, you're the creator of Flew Here, Grew Here. You came up with this idea. You brought it to the table. You brought all of us together. Talk a little bit about why you wanted to start a podcast.
Are you interviewing me?
Because that's what your favorite media maven does.
Right. I wanted to start a podcast because, first of all, in the word of Little Mama, I wanted to be the voice of the young people. No, for real, in all realness, not even being a voice for the people or the community in a sense of, it's just to share my voice, right?
Yeah.
So one thing that, while creating this podcast, one thing that I noticed about some of the podcasts that we follow is all about relationships, right?
Yeah.
It's all about why my man cheat. Y'all women need to close your legs. At the age of 18, you should be a virgin. Oh my God. Girls who not working.
Yeah.
And at first it was cute, but now it's to the point where I go on first dates. I talk to people. It's these same conversations, right?
Yeah.
So in a sense of, don't get it twisted, those topics are very popular and they go viral quicker because everybody always has something to say about relationships and don't even be in one. I mean,
boing.
I'm one of them, but that's not the point, right? I mean, sometimes you just like, come on, you old enough to know certain stuff.
It is interesting to debate that, and you just where we're at in our lives, you never know.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, some stuff just sounds dumb. You don't even got to be in it, and you realize the shit sounds stupid. But pretty much, I wanted to represent where I was from, right? Yeah. If anybody know me, and you could drop a comment below, if anybody know me, they know. If you hear, do you know Shenelle? What's the next sentence after that? The one from Brooklyn?
Yep.
like, oh, the girl from New York. I've been getting that since high school, especially in college. Everybody be like, oh, Shenelle, the New York girl, and things like that. So that's at that moment, I knew I had something attached to my name, right? So if you always hear Shenelle, the girl from New York, the girl from Brooklyn, and nothing else, not even like a media personality, a radio host, is the girl from Brooklyn, I definitely told myself, or even had a thought, like, well, if this is people... if this is how they're describing me, I need to pretty much represent where I'm from. Yeah. I need to put this on a map. And one thing about it, Atlanta is the new Black Mecca. You know, at one point, New York is and forever will be running stuff. But I say this to say, pretty much Atlanta is taking over. Yeah. So it's so many of it. And then too, I keep hearing, y'all flew here, we grew here, y'all need to go back home.
What that mean?
What that mean?
That episode of Love and Hip Hop.
Oh, did you fly Delta?
Shout out to Spice.
Shout out to Spice. Yeah, so I definitely created this to pretty much, I wanted to rep New Yorkers in the South, but also just represent cultures from everywhere. One thing that we share in common now is all of us are living in Atlanta. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about our experience. Let's talk about education, finance, school system, our parents. Let's just describe where we're from. So I wanted to bring everyone together to talk about it. So that's why I started a podcast, and that's why I named it Blue Here, Grew Here, pretty much. Oh, yeah. Well, let me ask you, why did you decide to join the show? Because we're going to give them the breakdown.
Okay, let's give them a breakdown.
If we're going to be here, we're going to keep it real.
All right, so me and Shenelle are part of the same media group, Media Girls Network. Shout out to them.
Yes.
And we had seen each other a couple times at events or whatever. And for the most part, we were cool. You know, we weren't like besties or anything, but it was always vibes when we saw each other. Then we figured out, okay, we both from Brooklyn. So every time you meet somebody from Brooklyn, y'all automatically family. Like, it just is what it is. And so we got cool. So one day, maybe like in the summer of 2022.
It was around like July, August. I had surgery, so it was around that time.
I get a call from Shenelle, and we just talking about just the media industry, period.
Wait, did I call you or you called me?
No.
Was it before I had surgery?
Before you had surgery, you called me. This is I'm gonna tell you the conversation.
Okay.
So you called me. We're just chopping it up. I think we did an event together. We was just chopping it up after that. And you was like, I want to create something. And I was like, okay, well, what do you want to create? You was like, I don't know yet. I just know I want to create something.
Wow, so I didn't even know yet.
You didn't even know yet. And then you said, whatever I create, I just know I want you a part of it. And I said to you, well, when you figure it out, just call me. I'm there.
Wow. I thought I had it together.
Nope.
Wow.
Fast forward, September, October, maybe?
No, it was, I know I called you because I think you called me to check up with my surgery. I think I was telling you I was having surgery.
So I call you. I'm just like, hey, you like, yo, I got it. I know what I want to do. You said I went to an event. I'm not going to say, because I forgot the event, so I'm not going to say.
Is that when I met India?
Yes. So you went to, shout out to our producer.
Yeah, and this is literally 3 days. I had surgery that Monday, August 22nd. So I ran into India either that Friday, Saturday. So this was literally 2-3 days before my surgery now.
Yes.
So shout out to the event I met India at.
Yes. Right. Like, I went to this event and I met this girl who is a producer, and she said she would help produce whatever I wanted to do. And I told her, I think I want to do a podcast. And I said, okay. And you was like, I want to do it with you. And my idea is, we both from Brooklyn. I want to talk about like Brooklyn, and then I want to talk about like what it's like to live in Atlanta. You didn't have a name for it at the time. We didn't have nothing for it. You just had this idea.
Right. And you know what's funny? I'm going to backtrack. With my producer guys, with our producer, I low-key kicked it to her where I didn't know what I want to do too. India, did I tell you? Did I tell you what? See? Look, girl.
So, and this is the power of just having people believe in you and believe in your vision.
And this another thing. Our producer, I knew of her just like how I knew of you. So it wasn't like April said, we was like 3 best friends or something like that. Literally, like, I could have just said what up to her, like, oh dang, it's good seeing you. All right, cool. But She just said, oh, yeah, because I knew she was on camera. She was like, yeah, I'm trying to produce and things like that. And literally, I don't know if that was God slapping me in the back of my head.
Like,
and I just said,
dummy, get her.
I said, oh, well, I kind of want to do something.
Yeah.
She could have left it alone,
She could have left it alone,
honestly, and you know what's funny? She hit me up and was like, hey, didn't you say you wanted... Yeah, I think because a couple weeks went by. And she said, hey, didn't you say you want to work on a project? Mm-hmm. Look at that.
Look at that. And so... And then, yeah, so you was like, yeah, I want you to do it. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, I was like, I love the concept. So let's do it. We had a couple meetings. We came up with a name. We came up with a saying or a...
yes, we really... and then how the name came up too, guys. Yeah, we really giving you memorable moments.
Yes.
And how the name came up, all I kept saying was... Everybody just keeps saying, oh, I flew here, y'all grew here, but I didn't think of that as a name. I was just like, how can we relate that we flew here and they grew here? Everybody keep talking shit about New York.
Yep.
I just want to show them that, yeah, we flew here and we grew here. April said, well, just name it Flew Here, Grew Here. Like, literally, that still didn't even hit me.
It didn't, and so, yeah, and now we're here. And the reason I decided to join was because when I met you, I could tell you was not playing. And I feel like when we're in an industry right now where there's not a lot of people that don't play.
Right.
And I don't want to work with somebody that's going to keep bringing me ideas and then there's no action behind it, because then it forces me to be complacent and mediocre.
Right.
So when you came to me with the idea, and then when you came back with the meeting and you had a producer, and then there was a studio, and then there was this, and then it was, oh, we got to get that. And then it was actual steps being taken.
Right.
I was like, this is where I want to be.
And then too, like I said, how you just said, find somebody who not playing. It was to the point where, like I said, our producer India hit me up. I hit you up, and literally you spoke life into it already in the sense of like, wow, this is dope. I'm on it.
Yes.
India set up the first meeting.
Yep.
Yeah. I know you missed the first one, but then India set up, okay, we can meet at Pond City. I'm like, okay, shit. Okay.
And I don't even go to Pond City. So
I only go when I'm invited. India set up the first meeting, and then after that, she set up the next one. You came to the next one. Then literally, it became in a sense of where all three of us pretty much put our all into this. So it wasn't a Shenelle, well, you started this, what do you want us to do? And honestly, when you have people who don't play about your vision and their vision, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
Everything falls aligned. Like, so honestly, I could not have done this podcast. I'm gonna say I couldn't have done this podcast honestly without India. And I would say that that's our producer. Like, honestly, I just put the bug in her ear in the sense. I know I created it, guys, and I know April hopped on board, and I couldn't have done it with both of them, but honestly, I definitely have to give flowers to our producer, India.
Yeah, shout out. Let's take a shot for India.
Let's take a shot for India. India, she's behind the scene, guys. So she
said take two.
She's behind the camera, and honestly, like you, and that's one thing that we're gonna dig deep to is the launch party, and that's why we had to give you your flowers there, because seriously, like, India was coming to these meetings with us. India was coming to the meetings too. Now she's coming to the meetings. Like, it's one thing we would say is one thing April say is I'm never shy away from a conversation.
No,
we have meetings. We talk like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we don't like. But honestly, like I said, this podcast would not have been Flew Here, Grew Here if it was not for India. So shout out to you. Shout out to you, baby.
Shout out to you.
Right.
So now fast forward, we're recording. We got all these guests.
Right.
And now Shenelle comes up with another bright idea.
What is it?
Y'all, I want to do some type of launch party.
Yo, let's talk about the launch party. That was another idea.
Listen, y'all. So she comes, she's like, but I don't want to do the normal, like, drop of a podcast, because that's corny.
Come on. Like, if I felt like if I just was to tell people, hey, I'm coming out with a podcast, it would have been, do we got to want one? Play that. Honestly, I just felt like people would have been like, it's another podcast, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, who wants to do that? Like, and honestly, I'm gonna say this. Y'all actually was with it.
I was just about to say, hear me and India go trucking along. Like,
no, I think I don't think it was this is when I tell you, you gotta have a strong team.
You do.
Honestly, it wasn't even on no like, I mean, what? A launch party?
Nope.
I mean, some concerns came up, but other than that, it was more so like, I think that's a good idea. I'm like, yo, if we're gonna drop this podcast, if we want to
really solidify
our name in this industry, we have to show up and show out. I said, I do not just want to, honestly, if we would have just dropped this podcast, we probably would have had 2 views.
That's it.
Because I feel like we just would have been a part of the number.
One of them would have been her, and one of them would have been me.
It would have been
3, including India, because we would have made her watch it.
Well, y'all would have made me. It would have been 2 views, and my uncle and my auntie talking about, I love you, baby. Good job.
That's it.
Right. So I said no. Like, honestly, one thing I don't play about is my name, and one thing I don't want people to play about me is what I could really do in this industry and how I could really shape and move. A lot of behind the scenes stuff happened where it was a lot of, like, this was my first time truly doing something for myself. I'm used to, helping other people build their dreams, which is fine because sometimes you do have to learn those skill sets and, stuff that you're doing. But this was my first time actually planning an event this big without, like, pretty much everything is me. Like, money is coming out my pocket. Usually I just get yelled at or whatever the case may be for other people. No, this is money coming out my pocket, budget. I'm stressing. That launch party, when everything got put together, when I tell you, shout out to Media Girls Network as well, but me and April, we were slanging out these invites. Like, you get an invite. You get an invite.
First of all, we was telling people, like, a month before, like,
random people,
random people, and like, just be on the lookout. Shenelle is infamous for what's your Instagram?
I'm asking everybody for the Instagram.
Like,
they be like, oh, I don't use it that much, girl. Did I ask you that? But right.
No, so yeah, we was like, I think the launch party really gave us a sense of really just understanding how in this industry, if you don't fight for yourself and you don't fight for your vision, your dreams, how other people will literally pay it dust too.
Right.
Like, people don't find things important enough unless it's attached to 1 million followers or 250,000 views or stuff like that.
Right.
And I think we really got a taste of that. Not only building this podcast, but the launch party really solidified a lot of, like, how I look at the industry now and how I move in the industry now.
Yeah, this media industry is no joke. I knew we would have had a successful launch party. I never doubted it was going to be whack.
No.
But I did not think that outcome. It was people we didn't even know.
And it was like, I heard it from my so-and-so. We like, who?
Right.
But okay, like.
Right. Like, it was people I didn't even know, honestly. Like, I knew we was going to have a good turnout. I expected maybe, I said 30. I told y'all 50 or less. And I really, honestly, I said between 30, 50 people. And honestly, I was satisfied with that. But at the same time, I felt like I was just trying to put myself in a safe zone so I don't
get disappointed if that's really what just came. It's like, oh, well, I planned for that.
Yeah, I planned for that. And that's not to say it's a bad thing. Sometimes you got to set realistic expectations. Yeah. I'm going to be honest.
Yep.
It's not to say I doubted Flew Here, Grew Here podcast. I'm just like, look, I'm going to send this out to about 30, 50 people because that's who all going to pull up anyway.
Yep.
Right? Then next thing you know, when them invites started coming, we was getting so hyped. That launch party, and we're going to show a clip of that launch party.
Yeah.
When we walked in,
it was like balls to the wall. Like, it had to be 100+ people there.
Yeah, I said 80 plus people. And the funny thing is, that launch party, and it was on a Tuesday, and they was like, oh, people got to work. I was like, this is Atlanta. People show up.
She said that. She was like, people show up for these events. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, let's go. And I think that was just my way of putting it in a safe zone. Like, okay, well, it's a Tuesday. People got to work, so they don't come.
One thing I've learned about Atlanta, if you're not popping like that, do not put no shit on the weekends.
Yeah.
Do not People are mostly busy. Honestly, sometimes I feel like people are more busy on the weekdays than the weekends. But if you not popping, if you ain't got them followers, them views, do not put no shit on the weekend.
No, because I'm doing what I want on the weekend. Right. I'm not coming to your event if it's... No,
because it's like, even if you don't have nothing to do, it's who coming to your event on a Saturday?
Yeah.
Because if Mickey Mouse call me, I'm going. So I said, let's do it during the weekday. It's Taco Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And y'all, you should have seen I'm a thug in real life. For real.
She gonna throw in
I tried so hard not to cry because that outcome literally, and the only thing that played through my head was, this is my moment. I waited all my
life, I could tell it.
Even India walked in like, whoo. Like, who is all these? Yeah, I'm talking about, and my homegirl talking about, y'all got people pulling up in the Ubers.
Like what? Like, y'all really fuck with us. Like, but let me say this too, right? Because that also played into this launch party, kind of also helped with me just realizing that you can't really support everybody in this industry. And really played into like, so I'm an Aries, and a lot of times as Aries, like, we are afraid of rejection. So I don't, like I told Shenelle, like, I don't invite people nowhere. I don't plan anything, because the minute somebody tell me they can't come and I supported you, I've showed up, and not on the basis of because I'm looking for something out of it, just, I've done this. I find it to be very personal when you say you can't come.
It is, especially if you go hard for someone that you don't even know.
Yes.
And these people see like, dang, like she always showing up. But to get that return in the sense of now it's my turn. And
yes.
Oh.
And you know what it was for me? Like, it's the people that didn't even reach out to say they wasn't going to come.
Right. They just
waited to after.
They literally just all you saw was a scene, a red at 4:08 p.m. Or you know what even pissed me off? Don't heart my shit.
Yeah, don't heart it, and then I'm looking for you in the okay, you're not here. So, and I know some people be like, oh, it's the classic, like, oh, girls with their birthday dinners, like, but I didn't understand that until I had something really that I believed in, that I felt like I was telling people and they were making me believe that they believed in it. And when you told me your vision, I was there supporting. I was at the shows. I was at the commercials. I was helping with the marketing. I'm giving you ideas. We discussing all of this so that your vision can be built out. When I came to you with what I had, you paid it dust.
And I bet you if I was an IG fucking influencer,
you'd be right there.
You'd be right there with Shaquana with the fat ass, with the BBL,
or even just you showing up for like the people, the rappers, the singers
who don't even pay you
don't even pay you, don't like your stuff, don't know your stuff.
They only with you because of your clout.
Or you just showing up because you think that this is a place for you to be. But in reality, how many connections did we make too from our launch party? Like,
honestly, y'all.
First of all, that's why we're here at this studio, because not to say we made this connection before, but when we came to the launch party, he showed us the space and was like, yo, we're working on a podcast space.
He said it wasn't ready yet.
But by the time we was going into filming season 2, it would be ready. We thought long and hard about it and then was like, yo, we want to come. All based off of us just having our launch party here. So that to say what? So you missed out on network opportunities.
You definitely missed out. And you know what it is too? One thing I learned from Will Smith that he said, and I can't say it verbatim.
Was this before or after he slapped Chris Rock?
No, this was before he slapped Chris Rock. Sometimes you gotta slap the shit out of people. Yo,
April, what's my name? Yo, Shenelle, if you piss, I will slap the shit out of it. Stop fucking playing with me. I will slap the shit out of her. I'd be like, y'all watch out, because she will.
Yo, I'm a Brooklyn borough bitch, rep from a borough bitch. Yo, stop playing. Like, I will slap the shit out you. Like,
she will.
And I will.
She will. Like, no.
And if I don't physically slap you, my eyes will slap the shit out you. Like this. No, and I say this to say one thing Will Smith said. We cannot knock people who don't see our vision, right? You can't. And you know, before, and Bia said it too, she said she used to get mad when people don't support her, right? It's like, just like, okay, just how people love talking about relationships, right? Just like, oh, I can't be with a man who don't see the vision. And people get mad like, oh, so you're not going to build with your man? And then y'all get mad when they say no, right? But if I truly, you have to convince me. Yeah. And like I said, I used to get mad. Like, you literally have to prove to people that you could do it, and that's when the support come. And people always be like, well, no, because remember when I told you it was an idea, you didn't join. I mean, no shit, because you just talking.
That's it.
I mean, you do have people who be like, okay, well, if you need something, I got you. But then you got people who like, well, that's like me going up to somebody and be like, oh, well, you should give me $2,000.
Yep.
Because you said it. So I'm supposed to give you money because you asked for it. But if I show them a proven track record, if I show them relationship, if I show them I could do this, then guess what? What I'm going to get? $2,000.
Yeah.
I think truly with this, the launch party and me starting this business for myself, or starting this creation of Flew Here, Grew Here podcast, really proved to people as well. Like, people didn't even know we already recorded.
No, people were like, wait, what? We like, no, we
they
got
thought
episode.
They thought it was just...
Our launch party was January 24th, and our first episode premiered January 25th.
When they saw the trailer, they didn't even know we recorded already. Yes. They was like, wait, whoa.
They thought we was just coming in there to talk about it coming. No.
And a lot of people thought, too, we was going to come with our hands out saying, oh, well, we don't know what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Like, could you please do this or do that, whatever the case may be. But at the same time, like you said, we just had to prove to people. One thing we just had to prove to people that we could do it. Now is in a sense of we came with the launch party. Mm-hmm. We spent no sponsorship, no handout, no grandma money, literally the money out my damn check.
Okay.
Right, came out of this. Mm-hmm. And it came out of all of our checks.
All of our checks.
Baby, all three of us.
All three of us.
And one thing that I could say I love about my team, like, hey, this is it. This is what's going on. It wasn't even in a sense of, you know, and remind you, this is a woman owned.
Yeah.
Our producer is a black woman. April's black. Y'all say that women can't get along. Literally.
Look, here we are.
Literally, it wasn't even no, well, girl, honestly, I'm not going to give you this 100 because this is your idea.
Yeah, nope.
Or you know what? I'm just the producer. Or April could have been like, oh, girl, you the one who want to do the launch party. Literally. When I tell you, and you know, that's what people are used to. Literally, I cannot stress this enough. Like, I knew you need to have a strong support system, but me going through this really value, like, if you don't play about me too, or if you don't play about what the vision I see, or even with us, then I don't even want to be a part of it. Like, literally, sometimes I was even scared to come up to y'all. Well, some stuff I probably handled like behind the scene, but some stuff I want to be like, y'all, it's an extra $100 that sometimes I did, and y'all was like, I mean, shit. Fuck it. Was 100 divided by 3? Yeah, but it could have been. It's to the point where I'm coming up to y'all so easy. Like, at first, I hate not asking people for shit. That's not even an issue. I just hate when, you know, when you tell somebody it's 300, now it's 475
and stuff, and like shit get out of hand, or just money. Period. Because people get what they say. People act funny when it come to money.
Act funny when it comes to money.
I remember one, and she probably don't want us to tell us, but I remember this one incident we had. It wasn't an incident, but India wound up paying for something. And it was like months before our launch party. So we came to her like, okay, so now we got to do this. And it wound up her having to come out of pocket for something else. And she was like, okay, well,
how about y'all cover it? Because
I covered this or whatever. And we had totally forgot, y'all. Like, it wasn't even on some like, oh, we're not paying her. It was just literally like, it was so much going on. Mind you, just so y'all know, our recording was right around Thanksgiving, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Mm-hmm. Then it was Christmas break. Then she had to edit. Then we started planning the launch party and all this stuff.
Additional.
So it was a lot.
Taxes didn't even hit yet. No taxes
didn't even hit. let go from my job earlier than what I thought I was gonna be let go.
And April did mention it.
I was like, y'all
give me the next pay cycle. We're some 9 to 5 workers over here.
Like, so it was like, yo, and so we just totally forgot. And when she told us to that, we was like, oh, okay, cool. And then we yelled at her like, girl, and don't be not telling us we need to pay you for something. Like, don't do that, because that's not how we operate. We do not do janky business. That is our motto. Here at the Flew Here, Grew Here podcast, we do not promote.
Yeah, because at the same time, India probably like, yo, fuck these hoes.
Like, these bitches took an extra 100 from, bitch, I just had to pay for
No, literally, like, both of us was like, wait, what? She was like, I text y'all. Okay, girl,
text us again. Like, the fuck? Like.
But honestly, like, and I cannot stress this enough, this literally shows, like, this is how we operate and do business. Yeah. Literally, like, she could have been like, you know what? I'm done with these hoes. This is it. They didn't give me
$100. Fuck them. Like,
and remind you, this is not even her podcast.
No, she's just here to help produce, edit, and do all the other stuff. Like, you know,
when I tell you, stuff. Right? So if I have people come up to me and ask me, and sometimes I'm so grateful because I look at myself and still look at myself low key like I'm just getting started.
Yes.
You know, and there's other people like, oh shit, like Shenelle and April doing the damn thing. And honestly, we have gotten more recognition off of the podcast. Yes, off of any platform we've been on. Now the platform helped us develop our name and brand. Yes. That's just first and foremost.
Okay. Who is our most memorable guest?
Honestly, I'm most memorable guest. Mm-hmm. I love all my guests equally.
Period.
You want me to choose one?
Yeah.
If I had to choose our most memorable guest, and I'ma stick beside him.
Oh God!
Shout out to my boy Caesar.
Oh Lord!
I'm gonna have to go with Caesar. One thing that Caesar's about to have his own segment on this show once a month.
I'm about to say we might have to bring him back.
Caesar, pretty much, he's another entertainer or another person who do not play about his name. No. I have learned so much from Caesar just off like I said, we developed that relationship with him. I hit him up. He pretty much was like, what's up? Say less. He came on the show. He bought us our first 1.7K views.
Yes.
He took that shirt off. He a Florida boy. And Caesar is pretty much developing his name, but the way how he moves, how he carry himself, how he don't play about his brand and his name, to me, that outweighs all of everything. Like, I learned so much marketing tips, business tips from him just off of his Instagram, how he conduct business. And it's just like, you kind of want to say, like, who is he again?
Yep.
Shout out to his, he have a data show coming out.
Caesar's
Playhouse. Like, honestly, I want to be like Caesar when I grow up. That marketing, that marketing he has, Caesar, shout out to you. And I'm gonna send this to him personally. Like, I have to give it up to Caesar. Honestly, that's my most memorable guess. Who's yours?
It's crazy because Caesar really, off rip, like, besides him being on the show, but off the show, like, because what people don't know is, like, after that we went out and we really had conversations just about the business and all of that stuff, and, like, to this day, like, we're still tied in tight with Caesar or whatever. But if I had to go with my most memorable guest, period, pour me up, boo.
Shout out to Bombay.
Okay. If I had to go with my most memorable guest, I'm going to say that my most memorable guest will have to be Lala Shepherd.
Lala. Yes. Shout out to Lala.
Shout out
Still
to Lala.
Sipping matas.
And because we always talk about, like, the power of manifestation and stuff, like, I remember meeting Lala at, like, a panel last year and just hearing her story and just being like, yo, like, I wanted to connect with her there, but couldn't. So then fast forward, shout out to Media Girls again. There was a interview that they were going to do for her. And when we talked about the interview, I wasn't available initially to do the interview. And I was on the phone, like, on the meeting, like, giving people, like, yo, like, this is her story. This is what you need to do. This is da-da-da-da. And the day came for her interview, and the girl who was scheduled to do it had to drop out, and it just so happened that what I had to do that day canceled, so I was available to do the meeting, to do the interview, and it was a really, really good interview. And I was like, you know, I really enjoyed it. And then fast forward, I'm like, yo, let's see if we can get Lala on the podcast, because she is an entrepreneur. You know, she has her own podcast. Shout out to the Progress Report.
Yes.
It's been picked up by Revolt. Mm-hmm. She's already been making big moves in the industry. So it was just like a thing where like you think it, you speak it, it happens. So,
right.
Yeah, she would have to be my most memorable guest. So
we love it. Honestly, before we wrap up, I want to say this. For this to be a new podcast, the love we've been receiving, we haven't had a whack guest yet.
No, we
haven't. Honestly,
we haven't. All of our guests have been amazing, have brought their energy to the table. Like, we're grateful.
Like, a lot of people who come on, you know, they be like, oh, y'all starting podcasts, like nobody wants to join. But like you said, when you do not play about your name and your brand, and the number one thing that we didn't bring up is energy.
Yeah.
Energy. When people see us, first of all, we're your favorite dynamic duo.
Yes.
That's number one.
People
and number
know
two,
us.
When we meet people and talk to them, I think our energy is so crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, and we talking about major influencers.
Yeah.
We talking about even celebrities. Mm-hmm. We even talk about, even like we said, entrepreneurs who are pretty much like up here.
Yeah.
That you would think like, oh, they don't want to come on a podcast with only 700 followers.
Yeah.
You know, because numbers.
Fuck them numbers.
Well, first of all, fuck them numbers, but it's true. We already know numbers run shit, right?
Yeah, we know women lie, men lie, but numbers
don't lie. So instantly, like a podcast with 700 followers, who are these girls? But when they talk to us, it's no hesitation. Like, we haven't had anyone to be like, I mean, what?
Get the fuck out of here with that. Like,
yeah, or like, flew here. What is that? Literally,
yeah.
like we walk up to them. It's like, oh shit. Okay.
It's just that Brooklyn energy. Let me ask you a question, because this is your baby, you created it. But in the spirit of manifestation, like, where do you see Flew Hair, Grew Hair going?
On Revolt? On Urban One? Huh? On BET?
All right.
Giving me my first 6-figure deal?
Y'all, listen.
It's Martha. That's Nicki Minaj. I see Flew Here, Grew Here, and honestly being the new podcast to look out for. I see Flew Here, Grew Here podcast giving me my first talent booking. I see Flew Here, Grew Here podcast where we have even Diddy sending us Dillion, and we're going to have Bombay Vodka on the side. Don't get it twisted. You know, I just see Flew Here, Grew Here podcast giving me so many breakthroughs because it's already bought me so many breakthroughs, right? Honestly, it's to the point where self-doubt is crazy. And I think every individual go through self-doubt.
Yes.
There's people who make millions or even 6 figures still having self-doubts about what they do. So the mind will definitely play tricks on you. So I can't even sit here and say just, oh, well, don't listen to it, because we're humans at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
You're going to have it. But when I tell you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I could have not done this without my team. Like, I would sit here and be lying. You could just pay anybody, right? You could sit here and literally, if I pay you, you're going to do what I need you to do. But when you, like I said, when you have somebody truly believing in you, like, shit could go 10 times further. Imagine if I was just paying y'all. What connection we would have had?
Yeah.
What brands would be coming in? Like, we literally met up with the owners of Bombay Vodka. It was no hesitation.
Yeah.
He wasn't even like, how many files? He didn't even ask none of that.
Yeah.
It was on some like, bet.
Yep.
Cool. So I see Flew Here, Grew Here podcast being a breakthrough for me and my team.
Yeah.
You know, because it's bigger than me. In the words of Lil Baby. Or Takeoff. Who said that? It's bigger than me. Wow.
Oh, that's Takeoff.
Rest in peace, Takeoff. Like, honestly, is bigger than me. And I think once people realize that, I believe, what was the panel you did at Brown Sugar?
Oh, yes. And I did the
6-figure chick?
Or
Or was it Damien?
Who?
When she talked about her team. Like she makes sure her team.
No, it was Six Figure Spot Chick. Shout out to Candace.
Right. You remember what she said?
When she talked about taking care of her team, because that is who will take care of her business and that is who will reinvest back in her vision.
Right. Say that shit again.
Listen, and shout out to Candace for saying this, and shout out to I've heard this from plenty of millionaires, billionaires who continuously make money, and the one thing they always say is that they take care of their team because their team will take care of their clients or their customers. And then the people, once they're taken care of, they will reinvest back into your vision because they feel like they are a part of it with you.
Right. Right. So, and I know y'all on this podcast like, dang, okay, we heard you the first time, but no, like truly, like,
yeah.
As someone who is new to this or someone who is really trying to establish something, it's like truly like, I cannot thank y'all enough. Honestly, seriously, like it would be no Flew Here, Grew Here podcast without my producer and without my co-host. Seriously. So definitely take care of the people who take care of you. We here to the end, and like I said, and you know what's funny? This shows the character that I have. You're asking questions about me, but I'm directing the question or the answer back to you all. You get what I'm trying to say? I could sit here and be like, oh, well, I want to be the boss or I want somebody to book me like Essence and BT. But literally when everything you ask me about, I'm redirecting it to you all. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Honestly, to me, that shows the type of character that I have. Like,
well, go ahead and pat yourself on the back.
Right. It does.
But, and let me say this too, because
seriously, because there's people out here who really only look out for themselves.
No, and it's funny you said that because I was just gonna end it on really just giving you your flowers and stuff and just saying, thank you for not being I created this type of person, so this is what I say. Sometimes Shenelle will be like, we need to like post a clip, April. Oh my God, I got so much to do. And I'm like, girl, just tell me to post a clip. Like, even though she's the creator of it, like I'm invested now, bitch. So what you think? Like,
when money's involved, fuck out of here.
And not even that, like my heart is in this. So it's like,
oh shit, she made me choke.
My heart is in this. I thought from the day you called me and said, I don't know what it is, but I want to do something. And normally I harp on ideas. So I'm like, oh, somebody called me. It was like they want to do something. And I'm like, I'm just waiting for them to call. After you called me, I didn't think about it again until you called me again. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah. And when you told me the concept, I was like, this is perfect. And I was invested from day one. So thank you for allowing me to have a platform to shine. I know like we don't ever hesitate to let people know like you're the creator, but you don't never leave me out of things. And one thing that me and Shenelle, we have is real talks. And she's a media personality. She was Shenelle Simone before I got here. I was April B before she got here. And we had our own brands in that. But Flew Here, Grew Here, for some reason, catapulted us into a certain dynamic, and that has taken off for both of us. So she will shine as Shenelle Simone, and I will shine as April B. But this is Flew Here, Grew Here. It's here to stay.
Right.
Bigger things on the way.
You know what's crazy?
Bigger stuff.
We're doing the same thing, but you won't even tell. I mean, but it's nothing in a sense of, some people be like, oh, keep your friends close, enemy closest, all of that. Yeah. Even my friends ask me too, like, well, how does it feel? Like, what if she get booked before you? And it's just,
we've had those conversations.
Like, honestly, we talk outside of Flew Here, Grew Here podcast. Yeah. Like, literally, I'm praying for her. She's praying for me.
Yep.
I'm venting to her. She's venting to me about this media shit. And we're both so connected.
Yes.
In a sense of, like, I want you to win just as much as hell. I'm over here trying to travel with work, and I'm thinking about the podcast.
And I'm over here telling her ass, girl, if you get that job, go take that fucking job and don't be worried about this. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, so I'm over here like, Emma, like, what if I get this job in New York? Like, I'm thinking about, because you don't understand, like, your dreams could be attached to other people's dreams.
Yes.
People don't realize that. And that, to me, like I said, it just shows my character. Like, I honestly think about other people before myself. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And I'm over here like, oh, hell no. We was just featured in Boston. Shout out to Danny Canada.
Shout out to Danny Canada. Yo.
Yeah, this was not no paid feature.
No, like, we was on that list with, like, podcasts who are really killing in this. I'm talking No For Sure with B. Simone and Megan Brooks. I'm talking Good Moms, Bad Choices.
Yes.
I'm talking Horrible Decisions. I'm talking
named.
Like, yes, we were named with the black women podcasts of today. So shout out to Gossip. Shout out to Danny Canada.
Off the strength of relationships.
Yes. So
off the strength of relationship. And that shows, and I'm pretty sure she done had plenty of relationships.
Of course. She's Danny
But the
Canada.
fact that she gave us this opportunity as like pretty much starter kits.
Yeah.
As pretty much, she could have just been like, girl.
Whatever.
But no,
it's cute.
It's cute. Shout out to Danny.
Yeah, so but listen, y'all, Flew Here Grew Here is not going anywhere no time soon. We got bigger things on the horizon. We got bigger everything coming for y'all. The guest is only gonna get better. The production's only gonna get better. We're only gonna get better. Shout out to all of our supporters out there. Y'all don't know how much I appreciate you, how much Shenelle appreciates you, how much India appreciates you. Just for every week sitting down, watching our episodes, for conversating with us, for telling us how great the show is, for just really being in our corner. We thank y'all so much. So without that, we're gonna end it there. Because now we can talk about this all night long.
All night. And there you have it, guys. You got to know, first of all, shout out to y'all. You truly just got the behind the scenes of how Flew Here Grew Here podcast even came about.
Yep.
We wanted our viewers to get to know us a little bit, see us for who we are, and pretty much, like, we keep it real out here. Like, ain't no sugarcoating.
Nope.
Like I said, we some 9-to-5 workers trying to get gigs, trying to get all of that. Like, we out here giving y'all the real deal because Brooklyn Baddies, we ain't fake bitches out here.
All right, so make sure y'all follow me.
We keep it real.
Look, follow me at
Fuck out of here.
It's April B.
Because I suck the shit out of all of y'all. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Y'all, make sure y'all follow me at It's April B __ on all social media platforms.
Make sure y'all follow me at I am Shenelle Simone. And also like, comment, and subscribe on the Flew Here Grew Here podcast.
Yes, and don't forget to follow FHGH podcast on all social media platforms.
Say it again.
FHGH. Listen, new episodes every Wednesday on all streaming platforms. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with us, and we'll see you next time.